The button. The button. Oh, I pressed the button. I didn't pull the switch or the lever, just the button. And
That's
The pellet
good.
with the poison is in the chalice with the palace.
And the
Actually,
lever's the wrong lever.
I was paraphrasing a VeggieTales song about a chocolate bunny.
Oh,
Yes. But
okay.
in any case, hello. The Tarrasque stood on a green circle while I was muted. Hold on, I need to look something up. I forgot the NPC could do something. Bingo.
Crash. That's not.
No, and this is why. This is why I don't use the bingo cards while I'm GMing. Hello and welcome to Cause and Effect, a homebrew D&D campaign, the last of my D&D campaigns, where everything is the player's fault, not necessarily the characters. There are many characters, but these ones are theirs. Tonight I'm joined by an awesome bunch of people, including Beth, Ellie, Eo, Millie, and Jen. So, there were 2 arcs that happened because you mitosis to the party. They've both come to an end. Who wants to try to summarize one of them?
Chadrick had a long season of self-reflection. He didn't go so far as to do anything like rehab, but he did have a moment of zen, and he took a nice vacation and came back a little bit wiser of a man.
Was this before or after a tree literally tried to eat him?
After, there's some things that really make you look at your life, examine some things, and one of them was the alcohol that tried to kill him. The second one was a tree.
That also tried to kill him.
Exactly. So you do what you gotta do.
Yes.
Fair.
And
Fair.
then there was the rampaging hadrosaur, which is technically an herbivore, but it was rampaging because it had eaten a black box that looked like a bit of fruit. If the fruit had been turned into a cube, the fruit was not a cube. But in any case, there was that. And then that party also went exploring and got to a giant pre-calamity killer robot that was filled with a small collection of repair bots that were happy to disassemble visitors and turn them into spare parts. The last black box was in the giant robot, but also the giant robot had a brain module that was retrieved because that was a quest for Mo. Turns out the giant robot was not sentient or sapient. It was meant to be controlled by a crew, and the repair bots were automated, doing the best they could with what they were told to do.
Aw.
Poor things.
Well, they weren't necessarily sapient either.
That doesn't matter. We will still call them poor things, just like people insist that Mr. Stabby is the best Roomba ever or whatever.
I believe Mr. Stabby got promoted to air duct Roomba.
It depends on the Stabby. There are many
Depends on if
Stabbies, but
It depends on if you're in a Die Hard movie or not. The air duct
Probably.
Roombas are very useful.
Makes sense.
Yes. Oh, mental note for the GURPS Wars campaign. Air
Oh, don't
duct
worry.
Roomba with engineering. It's not as high as my explosive skill, but Rotini could do a thing. Oh, Millie, you'd be proud of me. My GURPS character is a Jawa named Rotini Parmesan. Everything they say is literally Utini.
Good.
Utini. When people try to talk to them in their
There
own
are,
language.
there are many versions of Utini. It's like the many versions of Zathras from Babylon 5. However, there was another campaign. But wait, there is another. And that campaign, well, that arc, rather, went to the city of Oregano, which is currently a city of the dead, or undead, run by an enchanter who some would call Tim. They were having trouble with Sahuagin and a dragon turtle. They believed that they were probably related, but submitted them as separate quests anyway, so it was a twofer. In the process, the party did defeat a Sahuagin raid. They fought a giant shark. They fought yes, Millie, they were Sahuagin hooligans. You were absolutely right. They fought a giant shark. They fought a dragon turtle. They fought a shark god, which did not seem to be nearly as powerful as one would think a shark god would be. It was more powerful than the giant shark. But the dragon turtle fight was a bit more complex than the giant shark fight. Well, shark god fight. And it turned out that was happening. That was isn't your fight because Sclerora Springweather had been siphoning radiant energy from the nearby god, who hadn't been going into that area, but somebody had rolled a nat 1, if I remember correctly, on their stealth check. Not naming names, but somebody had rolled a nat 1 on the stealth check. So the giant shark had seen them, and the party worked as a wonderful collection of bait for luring a shark god inadvertently into the range of whatever devices Sclerora was using for absorbing radiant energies. Didn't build that specifically for taking out a shark god, but, you know, if you're at a restaurant and somebody hands you a free dessert, you take the free dessert. And then Sclerora said hi to everyone when they went investigating, summoned and or released a Sharkraken. That was a wonderful little fight. In the process, people kept getting thrown around. Tex was tossed into a container that was filled with glowing light that crushed. What's the
Concern.
Okay, no, this must be read out loud. So Huagin are part of a delicate ecosystem that also includes Saw Hatigan, the Saw
What
Here
again?
The Saw Why again, the Saw When again,
And the Saw How
What
again.
and the Saw How again. Yes. I am not going to click on the emoji that everyone is adding because instead I am going to add a different one, which is
You can do
that
both.
one. I could do both, but Ellie is a treasure, and yes, I could do both. There we go. There we go. All right. So that session ended with the party realizing that everyone who was there for that fight was sort of glowing, which might or may not be considered a good thing. There was a cat who was considering it a bad thing.
Can I lick this?
I mean, you can definitely make the attempt. I did find
No.
a gif of somebody who was in shadow except for their mouth, which was glowing brightly.
It
As if
is
they had
entirely
swallowed a light
possible
bulb.
that Hobby has sort of wincingly, holding her arm out, pulled the anti-nanite water gun trigger to squirt her own fur.
I
Yes.
still really want to see the fabled, mystical, glowing blep.
No.
Yeah,
Refuse.
because if it's stuck to your tongue, are you really going to pull your tongue back into your mouth, or are you just going to leave it hanging out?
Just imagine the expression. I think all you have to do is imagine the offended cat expression.
All right. Well, within a few hours of, oh my gosh, that gif. With the color changes, I am hearing oons, 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 oons.
I'm back.
I need to stop looking at that gif. Okay. So, within a few hours of leaving that central spire where the battle took place, the glowing fades. And there was talk of a quarantine. Bindle, Bright Light, does give you all a once-over and is not able to find any evidence of a nanite infestation on any of you. However, sending recovery teams to that spire location, the Augmanites do retrieve nanites. They say they retrieve nanites, and they want you to come look at them in the morning, because they'll probably have some information about them after that. And that gives you time for a long rest. So if you haven't pressed that button, press that button.
Cicely is just very confused and going to report in and go off to look for another team.
So at the end of either arc, there is enough reward handed out that each character gets 5,000 gold.
Wow.
Cool.
Yes.
Does this include our NPCs?
Does this include me?
Technically, Chadrick was marching through the jungles of the Orklands. So yes, Chadrick gets 5,000 gold for this.
Awesome. I just did so while also having an inner journey.
Yeah. Chadrick was there, just Chadrick wasn't there.
There. Gotcha.
Picture, if you will, there were periods of time where Aid was just coming over and then leading Chadrick through the jungle by the hand.
I can imagine. I see it in my head, yes.
Like, what am I doing with my life? currently walking through a mosquito-infested jungle? I mean, they're not bothering me so much, but, like, you are covered. They tried going after Cavil, but after a hellish rebuke, they all sort of just keep their distance.
And if they come after me again, I'm going to cast Spirit Guardians.
Oh my gosh, a cleric that casts Guardian of Faith specifically so they can take a nap and not have to worry about mosquitoes.
That's fair.
Yeah.
World's most powerful bug zapper.
Chadrick is still just kind of absent-mindedly, like, staring and walking around. Where
Well-
am I? Who am I? What am I?
You're Chadrick? You're a human
Do I still
paladin?
not know who my god is?
It says on the paperwork that it's a little smudged. And is that a beer stain? Huh. Party Rock Anthem. It says your god is Party Rock Anthem. Must be something in the translation. Did you write this in comment?
No.
Who I used to be. I'm going through my annoying mid-20s existential stage.
So, if I remember correct, there is a pinned comment. It's not too far down. You have to go past some very well done fan art. Well, not fan art. It was commissioned art, so therefore it is official art. But there is a black and white image that says magic item rarity asking price. So if you intend to spend gold, you can do so on magical items or regular mundane items if you so choose. I realize
For
that I've
these
given
items.
you enough gold that just with the gold that you earned from these 2 missions, because everyone did 2 missions, whether they were in one arc or the other arc, you could buy 2 rare items. So yeah, so you can do shopping. There's probably going to be another open mic night, but I'm going to go down the list and ask people what they are doing. I'm going to start with Hobby, because somebody rolled a 25 on initiative.
Probably has been attempting to gain the high ground and or sit on her sibling. After all, they've been apart for a while.
Your sibling can fly. Sitting on your sibling
makes it-
involves gaining the high ground.
I mean, it's not impossible that Cavil has had a hobby sort of launch herself off pretty much the top of that cat tree.
Ah, Hobby,
Hey!
Hobby.
Mhm.
If you keep doing that, I'm going to set your fur on fire.
No, you won't.
I might by accident.
It's fine.
If you sneak attack me, I hellish rebuke you.
I didn't sneak attack you. I just jumped on you.
Do you have to take damage for Hellish Rebuke to work?
Yes.
See? I didn't use my claws.
What if you'd missed and not landed on me?
Cat fall. Feather fall.
Yeah, okay, that's okay, that's fair.
Hobby lands on her feet anyway, shatters both ankles and wrists, but
She has
still lands
featherfall.
on her feet.
She has feather fall. It's a reaction. She has feather fall. This is part of why she does the jump.
My suspicion is that Featherfall was learned long after a significant number of jumps were made that were failed.
I mean, she had to get it back because she gave so many levels to her god before they, went to the past.
Teriush on a celestial plane is just staring directly at the camera.
It was a last-ditch hope, that kind of thing. Besides, where is that one? Oh, right. I can use evasion. No, that's not the one I can use. I think there was one that I take less damage from some things. I'll figure it out.
Evasion does allow you to take half damage. No. Half
That's
damage
area
or no
effects.
damage for area of effect spells.
Yeah.
And then there's Uncanny Dodge that lets you take half damage from an attack.
One of those ought to count for falling, right?
Neither of those counts for falling.
Fine, I'll just
You
have
cannot
to make sure that I have
evade the ground. This is not Hitchhiker's
not
Guide.
that attitude.
This is not Hitchhiker's Guide. You cannot throw yourself at the ground and miss and therefore discover flying. we have all learned that the way to discover flying is to have Converse boots of flying,
Yes.
preferably in turquoise.
Yes.
That
Also,
would be an Owlin.
Featherfall. Featherfall.
At some point, you're going to miscast Featherfall and cast Featherball.
Also, I'll land in a whole bunch of feathers. He'll be okay anyway.
No, the ball
Summon a
appears
bunch
directly
of
below you.
College
And
kids with guitars. If you do a feather wall.
anyway, here's Featherwall. That's the Owlin college kid.
Yeah.
I mean, they might still be part of the guild because Flinry canonically is in the Orklands looking for her students. Turns out one of them made it back here on their own. Flimry shows up with the rest of them. They're all like battered, bruised, covered in mud and dead insects. And the one Owlin student is just over there at one of the tables plucking strings on their guitar. Oh, hey, you're back.
Whoops.
Is immediately murdered by glares alone.
Well, yeah.
It's all psychic damage. Anyway, Mech, how do you
Let's
spend
see.
your downtime?
Where are we at right now? Is this like? I
You've
think at some
gone-
point we had like a.
You've gone back to Flag Headquarters.
Okay.
But you don't have to stay in Flag Headquarters for your downtime. That's just you are at your base of operations unless you choose not to be.
Okay. I think Mech wants to there's a bar, right? Is that still there?
Yes.
Or okay, so
The
she's
Quest
gonna go
Hub
down
Bar
there
and
and
Grill.
just kind of sorry, what?
The Quest Hub Bar and Grill.
Yeah, okay. So she's gonna go down there and just kind of observe people because she knows how to handle talking with mechanical people, but she's not really sure about what human people do. So she just kind of is gonna walk around and observe.
Okay. Well, the Quest Hub is run by Mork and Mindy. They are both orcs. I've mentioned
Yes.
this
Orc.
before, but it's been a while. Mork the
Yeah,
orc and
yeah.
Mindy the orc, yes. They also have
The orc.
kids. The kids also run the bar, but they do not serve the alcoholic beverages.
Ah,
They
okay.
do serve the hangover remedies.
No.
Yes. Some of which are the kind of mixes that you might expect a small child to make when they know they don't have to drink it.
Okay.
And perhaps the goal is to make someone's experience with post-inebriation so horrible that when they say, I will never again on my life get that drunk, they have some reinforcement
Ah.
beyond
Okay.
just the hangover.
Okay. Can a mechanical being have a hangover?
My hesitation to say no is not because I'm thinking of things that would count as hangovers for robots.
Mhm.
However, as a construct, you do not need to eat or drink. However,
Right.
you can observe people doing both, some of whom
Mhm.
are, in fact, drinking hangover cures. Except for that one, their hangover cure is apparently escaping.
Interesting.
Yes, they are chasing after it, but they are suffering from a hangover. So they're doing so at disadvantage.
Oh no.
Yes. Absolutely no one is helping them.
hmm
But several people are watching. And it's the
Right.
best thing they've seen today.
Okay.
Yes. You get the sense that
Yeah.
several of the people who are just watching and not helping are party members of the person chasing their hangover cure.
I see. Okay. Yeah,
Which-
she's just gonna kind of walk around and kind of learn more about humans.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, while you are at, oh my gosh, Millie typing in all caps in chat is not to be ignored because it is either glorious or terrible. Or both.
Okay.
So while you're at the quest hub, there are quests that are for the particular level that your cohort is. You have 4 of them that are currently on the board. There's space for more, but it looks like some were done recently. It looks like 4 were recently done. Almost as if your party came back after completing 4 quests off the board. And they're like, well, do we have anything else to
Well-
stick up there? Well, there's the retrieve an item for Mo thing. They just did that, but Mo already has something else. So yeah, put that back up or don't take it down, whichever.
More
And
like
whatever
Can we do
Augmenite
potential
experiment went
quest?
horribly wrong this time, yeah, most people don't even touch that. The one party came back purple.
Purple.
We choose potential quest. That's
There's
the line I'd like to do.
assist the Red Death of Plantain. That sounds delightful. No
I
one
wonder
called
the
the
It's
Red
been there
Death
for
to
a
be
while,
a bad person.
hasn't it?
It's possible that the Red Death has been on there more than once. You've seen the Red Death mentioned before, but the wording
Ah.
might have been slightly different. And then there's defeat the Baroness of Kavrim.
That's new.
So by defeat, does that mean kill or does that mean like ruin emotionally?
The
Well, it
quest doesn't
says
say.
defeat.
Ah, it's open
It
to
just says
interpretation.
defeat.
social?
It means you take the Baroness's feet off.
That doesn't sound right.
Ew.
What if
Wait a minute.
I ask her, I have her drink with me to the point that she passes out, and then we just kind of hog tie her.
I mean, you might not need to do that. You might just need to, have a drinking contest. That would defeat her if you win.
True. Or what if I did arm wrestling?
I challenge you to a game of tic-tac-toe.
Exactly.
Oh man, yeah, yeah, that one sounds good.
Oh no, she picked center square. The game is over. I surrender.
Are you a rouge or what? Come on, A.
I tried to swap out their marker for a different one. It turned out she had like 20 of them.
Tiff.
I picked your pocket again and again and again. I kept getting more markers. I don't know what's up with it. Prestidigitation. She might know prestidigitation.
Yeah, okay.
Technically, the tower knows prestidigitation, but that's besides the point. Yes. So, Tex, how are you spending your free time?
Yes. Probably helping out groups if their members are short. If they're short a member,
Or if they're just vertically challenged.
yes. As I'm very tall and can reach the top shelf.
You come back from an adventure surrounded by halflings.
Literally surrounded. You're carrying them as well, and there's one that's like clinging to your belt.
There was an attempt.
Well, I wasn't expecting to work with you again this quick, but sure.
There was an attempt from several of them to lift Tex over their shoulders in celebration, but this failed.
Anyway, yeah, I'm helping out where I can. If none of the parties need help, then I'm helping the Augmenites.
All right. There is always a party that can benefit from a pinch hitter. And you are definitely somebody who can come in and basically you've carried multiple parties. Not because you went in and did all the work. I believe we've had this conversation before. But
Right.
When you are there, your goal is for others to not get harmed. And you are very good at what you do.
It's true.
I'm just picturing a party that's in a temple, like in the first Indiana Jones movie. And the whole sphere of stone comes down and Tex just braces.
That sounds like Tex.
Tex has become the door. That's a reference.
Mhm.
Which means that somebody picks Tex up and puts Tex over there with the other doors.
I have concerns.
We are not going to actually do a GURPS Wars / D&D crossover.
But we could, because I made those now KISS rules.
I mean, we could, but I'm not sure that we're ready for a world where Antuxa meets Mo.
Ellie, may I give a suggestion for what Antuxa would probably say?
What?
Ellie?
Sure.
Gracious, you remind me of my master.
Considering the
same
art
artist used,
that we
yes.
used for
Precisely. Anyway,
Well, it's a very nice portrait of Mo.
it is.
All right. So, Tex, on your various missions, and some of them last a day, some of them last not even that. We're like, okay, we have all the supplies for 2 weeks of adventuring, and okay, so we won. Well, guess we can go home now. So on those, you do get bits of information in that There's a lot of quests that seem to be, like, drying up. Like, the quest board always has quests on it, but it doesn't seem to have as many of them, and a lot of them are of reduced difficulty, which you haven't noticed so much for the ones that are appropriate for your cohort's level. Those still seem to be quite powerful ones. But the ones for the groups that you're helping, those are lower level cohorts. And they're like, now people don't refer to themselves as a particular level. That would be way too meta. But there's level 5 adventurers who are going into a basement to kill 10 rats.
Because that's what's available.
Well, they had to dip down to the tier 1 adventurers to get that one.
Yeah.
And yeah. So, Cavil.
I have been looking at magic items.
While you are at the consignment shop looking at magic items, Chadrick is also in the consignment shop looking at magic items.
I picked up useful magic items for once in my life.
Well, excellent.
Dear me.
No thank you.
No, this moment, as I put in the chat, this moment of usefulness and of proactivity, like proactiveness from Chadrick, is just a residual from his mental inner journey. He will go back to normal scheduling soon. But I'm basically picking up the shield and armor that I'm going to end up getting, going, what if I do help?
See, the problem is I'm already attuned to too many things. I mean, I'm not attuned to too many things, but I'm attuned to too many things to be attuned to any more things.
You're attuned to the perfect amount of things?
I mean, the stone isn't really very helpful unless it is, you know? But it's kind of requisite. Anyway, I did not mean to click that.
But what if you did?
Anyway, I've been looking through things that
Don't do it.
other people in the party might use. And, well, if I can find one of these maces, I feel like it might be applicable to.
Are you running like a battle mace or like a bear mace?
No, it's the kind of mace you use in cooking.
Oh, okay. Because I mean, like, the thing is,
no, it's a mace for constructs, not a mace for bears.
Bear mace could be helpful, but also a mace made of bears could also be helpful.
They might have to be rather small bears unless you're going to hand it to Tex.
Well, what if it's just
Someone
like bear
could
claw?
probably make a bear-shaped mace.
Yeah, think about it. No, like a mace that has like bear fur and then like the claws as the little spiky bits.
A mace shaped like a bear that is also holding a mace.
Yes.
And it's a construct, so when you hit someone with it, the bear hits the target with its mace as well.
Also, when that happens, pepper spray comes out.
That sounds like something an Augmanite would make.
Don't give them an idea, or maybe do.
The consignment shop had 3 of them in stock until yesterday. They've all been recalled.
Dang.
Apparently, they are now referring to it as the incident.
What isn't the incident?
There has been some discussion frequently about how they're going to need to start naming the incidents something more than just the incident. But the people who are usually responsible for an incident do like the anonymity that comes from people not knowing which incident they are responsible for.
That's fair.
So, Mace of Smiting. You gain +1 bonus to attack and damage rolls made with this magic item. The bonus increases to +3 when you use this mace to attack a construct.
And given that someone has been trying to invent her own jurors.
And also, as a being made of nanites, might also technically count as a construct as well as undead. Who knows? You'd have to hit her with the mace to know for sure. When you roll a 20 on an attack roll made with this weapon, the target takes an extra 7 bludgeoning damage or an extra 12 bludgeoning damage if it's a construct. This is in addition to, doubling your dice when you crit. If a construct has 25 hit points or fewer after taking this damage, it is destroyed. Fun! Also, I have looked up the items that Millie wants Chadrick to purchase. They are not imported into Foundry, although one of them is from a book that I have purchased. So I'm surprised it's not in there. But I can, given the time...
I live to be contrarian.
I can, given the time, create these in Foundry and give them to your character. So it's a good thing this is an intermission episode. So here's the question. Who's getting the Mace of Smiting as a Christmas present?
I am figuring probably either Chadrick or Mech, because Tex has a magic weapon.
Cool whips. So I'm gonna guess that whips, you know? So I'm gonna guess it's gonna probably be Mech then.
Okay. You don't want it because it's not a whip. Okay.
No, because A bought me a whip.
Oh, okay.
It's from A.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
And it's magic.
Yeah, it is. But also the mace is gonna crunch things way better than a whip does.
I mean, yes, okay, yeah, so probably, like, the best thing, but, like, I've made 2 smart choices today. You can't expect me to make 3. But I will take it into consideration, honestly.
Ace just stares directly at you.
You can't expect me to make 3 good choices in one day.
Do potions cost less than other magic items?
It depends. Every now and then they get a crate of them at once, but it depends on what potion you're looking for. And for the record, Beth, Cavil is currently wearing the glamored studded leather.
We might like some glamored studded leather as well. I'm not sure what she's wearing. What am I wearing? Inventory. I am not sure, but I think Hobby has been relying on being extremely high dexterity for her armor class.
Makes sense.
Would getting some actual armor cause that to be a problem?
I mean, if you went for full plate, yes.
But glamorous studded leather.
That wouldn't hurt you.
Some armor that does not require attunement is starting to sound kind of useful.
And glamorous studded leather does not require attunement, which I imagine is exactly why Cavil has it.
Uh-huh.
That and Mohawk.
Uh-huh.
It's either that or we might want to consider this.
Dimensional shackles. You can use an action to place these shackles on an incapacitated creature. The shackles adjust to fit the creature of small to large size. In addition to serving as mundane manacles, the shackles prevent a creature bound by them from using any method of extra-dimensional movement, including teleportation or travel to a different plane of existence. They don't prevent the creature from passing through an interdimensional portal. You and any creature you designate when you use the shackles can use an action to remove them. Once every 30 days, the bound creature can make a DC 30 strength athletics check. On a success, the creature breaks free and destroys the shackles.
I mean, I'm just kind of wondering about, do we want to keep a nanite lich from running away?
I mean, if she's made of nanites, you could literally just pour out of them. Or, not have feet anymore.
I think that would be nice.
Also, do you know how to incapacitate her and still have her be, corporeal? The last time she got killed, and A uses air quotes for this, she just sort of vanished because she got pulled into a 5th dimensional rhombus.
Well, that might stop. True.
Or should I volunteer as tribute again to get her to stop and pay attention to me for a minute and do weird magic to me to figure out how much of my body is blood alcohol content while y'all do other stuff to stop her?
I'm not sure that'd be a good idea.
Everything she could learn from that.
Yeah.
But I've changed. Maybe she'd like to see me, over time.
I mean, if we do things to her, she might leave you unraveled, and that would be bad.
Oh, yeah, that would be a side effect. You're right.
So,
rescinded.
Hobby, are you getting the glamored studded leather?
Yes, I think so.
All right, I will drag that to your character sheet. And I think an issue I was having was because I was using Foundry wrong. Fighting with Foundry
Oops.
achievement unlocked.
Hmm.
And that item is still not there.
Hmm.
And somebody outside my apartment is using a microphone
Oh no.
That's
Yeah.
exciting.
and playing Spanish music.
That's at least it's fun music.
I'm not saying it isn't,
Mm-hmm.
but that's what's being serenaded to me at the moment.
Well, there you go. Probably helps if you speak Spanish.
Well, it's possible that I am not their target audience.
Yeah, that's
So
probably
good.
true. Mm-hmm.
For the past few days, what's been happening is some of the youths have been going around throwing fireworks at each other.
Ooh.
No.
Yeah.
No.
They've been having lots of fun with that.
Oh my gosh, we have like full-grown adults that will just randomly throw fireworks out.
Oh,
when
I've
it's
been
dark out.
calling them.
Yeah.
I've been calling them youths because there's a pretty good chance they're younger than me, but it's also a pretty good chance that they are old enough to be outside of school.
Mm-hmm.
And Ellie, you're getting a ring of protection for Tex.
That's the intent, yes.
Hey, that's actually listed in here, so I can just drag it over.
There you go.
Yay! I can do a thing.
Mm-hmm.
Ring of protection. There we go. And if I take a look here, scroll up, Millie is getting a breastplate of balance, which this tells me nothing about what the stats are for it. So that's fun. I'll make them up. And by make them up, I mean I will search for another breastplate, drag that over, and use that. And a pariah's shield, not ring, which starts off as a shield +1. So
And costs on this. Did you already deduct my
I have not
rare
done
item there?
anything to your gold item, gold amounts.
Okay, so I will deduct my 2,500. So
Should I deduct my 5,000?
If you added the 5,000, then you can take it back off again because you're getting 2 rare
Okay,
items,
I'll
I believe.
actually, that sounds like a very good idea because I want to swap my +1 dagger for a +2 dagger. Or possibly add a +2 dagger, actually. Where would I fit? Items? Item!
The intermission sessions amuse me greatly because there's a lot of, okay, I'm just going to move this over here. Hold on, I need to look something up.
Item!
So I have placeholders for for Chadrick's magical items. I'll drag those over, but I haven't adjusted the stats properly for them yet. The information is on them, but the information is in text. They have been added to Chadrick's character sheet. So let's see. Tex got a ring of protection. Beth got glamorous
2 things.
studded leather.
Mhm.
And you want a +1 dagger?
A +2 dagger,
Oh,
which counts as a
+2.
rare item, which I already moved over.
You already found and added that to your character sheet?
Yes!
Oh, wonderful.
I am very proud of myself.
+2, Gesundheit.
Thank you.
Okay, so I have a question.
Yes.
So I'm looking at this stuff that I got. And so, let's see. It says that both of them say I have a +1 to AC on top of the normal AC.
Mm-hmm.
Is that included? Because right now, like, the shield says I have a 3 AC, but if I unequipped it, it goes back to 15. But does that mean that my AC should actually be 19?
So right now, the pariah shield is only acting as a +1 shield. So with it equipped, your AC should go up by 2 because it goes up by 1 for having a shield, goes up another 1 because it's magical.
Now I get you. And then when we're fighting, it'll go up 1 for like every ally or 2.
In theory, but I'm not sure there is a way for me to math that in Foundry.
No, I think that I'll just have to like write that in the chat and we'll remember that somehow.
Well, I copy-pasted all the information about it into the description of the shield.
Yes.
So you've got that.
We
there.
will try our best to remember.
For the breastplate of balance, same deal. I do need to go in. There is a way to add charges to items. I do know how to do that. I just haven't done it yet for this item.
That's fair.
Can I do that right now? Details. Limited use.
Oh, I see it.
4.
Yeah, I did. I saw it.
There we go.
We did it.
And when does it recover charges?
Once a day.
Once a day. So
Add to 1.
recovery, add a plus, And we're going to say day, recover all uses. And now it has charges.
I have done my useful thing for this arc. Have a nice day.
During the next
bathroom
combat,
I go.
Chadwick will be locked in a bathroom with Pariah's shield at the ready.
Yeah, in front of the door.
A comes over, opens the door because Rouge therefore can pick the lock. And there's just a shield blocking A's way. Oh, sorry.
Also, I will be casting, magic circle around the bathroom too.
Magic circle. What does that do? Other than...
I create a cylinder of magic that either keeps all undead or whatever out, or keeps them all in.
You're not locked in here with me. Also, I'm not locked in here with you. You were outside. You were outside the circle when I cast it. Stay there.
Yeah, so you literally can't go in, or if they're all in the bathroom, I can keep them in there forever.
So many jokes just went through my brain about...
The bathroom is safe forever.
Well, mostly it involved odors, because trapping the bathroom could be bad, but many undead do not have a sense of smell, and or smell worse than anything you could do in the bathroom in the first place. All right. So have I, in my AD&D, not AD&D, that's something else. My AD and HD. My high definition. My high definition ADHD.
There you go. Mhm.
Have I forgotten something that somebody wanted and not drag it over? Oh, Mace of Smiting.
You missed the fact that Chadwick voted for the line 1 potential quest.
Oh, we haven't addressed what your next quest is going to be yet.
No, that's my vote is potential quest.
Okay. Yeah.
All right.
I don't think Mech really needs anything else. She's got all these like weapons and such, so
Well,
great acts of intimidation, that kind of thing.
yeah. So the Mace of Smiting is a neat weapon, but Mech tends to use two-handed weapons.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They held it with both hands.
Yep.
And then used it really hard.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they could, but game mechanics-wise, that wouldn't do anything.
Yeah. It's just flavor, basically.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
And the Great Axe is already going to do additional damage.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Because it's a Great Axe of Smite. Well, not Great Axe of Smiting, but it is a magical Great Axe.
Mm-hmm.
So...
It's the Great Axe of Intimidation.
Yes. Another item that I made.
You don't even have to use it all the time. People will just move out of your way, she learned.
Also, you're a 7-foot-tall robot of destruction.
Yes.
They were moving out of your way before you had the axe that just, occasionally drips blood everywhere.
Right.
Or is
right.
on fire. Or is on fire while dripping blood that is also on fire.
Close enough.
That's pretty awesome, really.
I mean,
just saying.
I'm not disagreeing.
Uh-huh.
It distracts a lot of people. It makes it easier for me to be a Rouge.
And sinking into a swamp.
No, we had that episode already.
Yes.
Crash, I had to tweak the effects on the leather to make it actually do things. I had to do some stuff. Did I do it right?
I have
Does it
no
look like
idea.
it's doing the right thing?
I have not the slightest clue right now.
It's
however,
light armor. It says it's studded leather, so that?
So it should work as studded leather armor then.
Okay.
What did you need to tweak?
I had to give it AC.
It didn't have AC.
No. It had 0 AC on it. It had the description, but it did not have the details. So I had to tell it what equipment type it was, which was light armor, which I took from the previous. She did have some leather armor on. And it says it's studded leather, so I assume the base equipment is studded leather armor. And there's a proficiency, and the AC says it's 13, and I have no idea if that's actually including the +1 or not.
It's glamored studded leather armor. You bought it from the cosplay section.
Clearly.
The theater department section.
However, it says I get a +1 bonus to AC, so I don't know if I have the +1 bonus because of the magic part here, or if it's merely studded.
I just realized I should check Cavil. Cavil's gives 13 AC. Okay. So Cavill's did have an AC, but
Oh,
somehow
okay,
yours
Cavill's
did not.
Possibly because I put one in. I may
There
have.
you go. Okay.
But does it
I do
also
not
count for the +1 on it? Or should I be having AC 19? Think fast.
I don't want to think fast. I'm a Toys R Us kid. Wait, no. I have a feeling that your AC should be higher than Cavill's. And Cavill has a dexterity of 14. Your dexterity is 20.
Yes. My AC is 18.
Wait a minute. Something's not quite right here, because if I... No, I see what that is. Fighting with Foundry, but it's not so much fighting with Foundry, it's fighting with character sheet, trying to find the right information. And some of you are using the new character sheet, some of you are using the old character sheet, so knowing where the information is on one of them is not helping me with the other.
18 sounds like the right AC for hobby.
Okay, including the +1 for magic?
Yeah, because mine gives 13 AC, and then I
13's
get 2 more for Dex.
And you get 5 more for Dex.
Yep. And hobby gets 5 more for Dex. So hobby should have 18.
All right. Well, with that out of the
Okay.
way, it has been mentioned to me that we've been playing for a little over an hour. What do you say we take a short break?
Yeah.
Okay.
You have completed my shopping puzzle,
Woohoo!
with the exception of who's getting the mace. But we'll worry about that after the break. Hitting the button now.
Who's got the button?
I do. Well, there
And
are
you
many buttons.
pressed
You
it.
all have buttons. You get a button, and you get a button, and you get a button. Check under your seats, but don't press that
Ew.
one. That button releases the bees.
Oh no.
That is the bee button.
Mhm.
These are our friends.
They provide
teach
honey,
us to
which I'm
be-
told is flammable.
Honey is flammable?
Yes. Apparently, some manufacturers will water down their honey, so that's less flammable. So one way to tell if you have pure honey or not is you try to set it on fire.
Sorry, jumping back in because I was trying to search for it. Every time now that Reese says Kevin's name, they send me this video.
I am recording and therefore will not press the play button on that video right now.
Not
Oh
a
my
good
god,
idea.
sorry, I
Yeah.
zoned out for a hot second because I was looking for it. That's how we're doing.
I'll worry about setting my honey on fire later.
Apparently,
metal
there's a
dish.
John Statham movie called The
Ominous.
Beekeeper where he uses honey as an accelerant, and there's a line. I've only seen the promo videos for it. I haven't seen the actual movie, but there's a line where one character saying to another, "Yeah, honey's flammable. Who knew?" And I was like, "That can't be real." So I looked it up, and it is.
Oh wow.
If it's pure,
Why are we
it's actually
setting
very.
honey on fire?
Because bees. Because buttons
Why are we
under
setting bees
seats.
on fire?
Well, they were spicy sky fruit, but they were perhaps too spicy. Anyway, hello and welcome to ADHD&D.
Mm-hmm.
You've just been subjected to a train of thought from me pressing the button to come back from the break. On the table right now, perhaps amongst all of you gathered around a table, is a mace of smiting.
I don't think rogues are allowed to use maces. I think they'll take away my rogue card.
It is not a finesse weapon.
Hmm.
It is a make thing go crunch weapon.
Mm-hmm.
In World of Warcraft, this would be a different story altogether. But you are
Right.
not in World of Warcraft.
Question.
Answer.
Can I dual wield the mace and the whip?
Yes. Asterisk.
I know that would probably mean I'd have to put my shield down.
It means you would not be using a shield. And you would get full ability to use whichever one was in your main hand. The offhand weapon, when you rolled to attack, would not get as many bonuses.
Also, you have to use light weapons if you're dual wielding.
Well, the offhand
The whip
weapon would
doesn't
likely be
weigh
the whip.
much.
Yeah, but
If no one else takes it, I will hold it and use it when I need to bash something in.
I mean, you can switch weapons.
No, that's what I'm saying. Is like I'll hold it, and then like if something gets too close to me or my bathroom door, I can hit it with the mace.
That'll
Let me
do.
just make a note in my GM notes.
But both-
Remove
no, I'm saying both
all
weapons
bathrooms.
usually
Anyway, hi.
both what
Saying you.
The-
never mind.
Well, I think The comment was that if you're using an main hand and an offhand weapon, they need to be pretty light because you're holding one in each hand. That's why I use my psychic blades, because they're literally light.
No, I'll
Look, they
one
glow.
at a time. I'll just switch when I need to.
I thought I
Yeah.
already gave it to Matt.
Oh, I thought you did.
Oh.
You did. Well, then
Maybe
that
we did.
whole conversation
Well,
was moot.
I did
I
not
can
drag it
buy
over
another
to
one
Mech.
if there is another one.
No, it's
I-
fine. It's fine.
I didn't drag it
No, I
over
can.
to Mech.
Sorry, what?
Well, the
There
comment...
is another one.
There is another.
Sir.
So, Mech does not currently, on their character sheet, have a Mace of Smiting.
Right.
The comment was made that you were giving it to somebody because it'd be useful. Chadwick said not it. And then looking at who was left that could use it, Mech was considered the best option because Tex already had a magical weapon. But the thing is, so did Mech. And also so does Chadwick. But Chadwick's magical weapon is a whip that, while it does have a bonus to hit and to do damage, its primary feature is utility.
You can bash things in with the mace and then do cool Indiana Jones stuff with the whip.
I mean,
Well, that's why the whip
Yes,
is called
Mech has
the whip
a-
of the archaeologist.
yes, Mech has a magic weapon, but it's just a +1 weapon that does flavorful illusion stuff.
Mm-hmm.
This is true.
Saying that I need to take it. I was just saying that if nobody else will, I can use it.
In this conversation, which I'm assuming that there's some amount of this conversation that is being had in game, perhaps with different words, perhaps with different enthusiasm. A is very much in favor of Chadwick using the mace because, let's face it, the whip might look cool, but a mace will do a lot more damage. You're going to see a significant
Currently on
damage.
a good streak right now, baby.
You will see a significant damage output increase switching from whip to mace than you will from switching from great axe to mace. Because while the bonus to the great axe isn't as good, the great axe itself already does a ton of damage. That cuts through a lot of resistances because if it has any degree of magic, then it counts as a magical weapon.
So yeah, if Mech doesn't want it, then Chadrick will put it in his pocket. But if Mech
Okay.
does want it, first dibs.
Okay.
That's all I'm saying is that if no one else takes it, it'll go in mine.
Yeah, that's fine. That's fine.
Okay. Now here's
However,
the question: does it require a tune?
no,
Okay.
the construct damage and attack. I can get 2 if there are 2. I can afford them.
You don't
I'll
need
share.
to get me a second one. I was just saying that if we have it, we can use it. If Chadrick does not have it, he has still done a net gain today in terms of gear. So we're still doing good.
Okay.
And
'Cause
my understanding is
then-
that a mace was purchased, but I haven't drug it to anyone's character sheet yet. So
yes, and I'm saying that I can buy a second one if there is a second one.
We haven't
Well-
even found an owner for the first one.
I mean, if you get
Yeah,
2 of them, then we give one to Chadrick and one to Mech.
Sure.
Sure.
I will cut in. I'll add. Let's see.
the mace
there are
does
gonna be
1d6 bludgeoning damage plus its magical features.
Sounds
It
good.
only does a ton of extra damage on a natural 20, so you have a 5% chance per attack of it doing the extra damage.
But it hits much more often if you use it on constructs.
Mhm.
This is also true.
What does my whip do for damage? I can never remember where to find
1d4
that.
plus the magical
1d.
bonus.
Okay. Thank
Yeah.
you.
And I believe the person we fought who got Gerard had a very high AC.
yes.
This is also true. But Mech is already getting bonuses to hit, I think, from Raging. I
Yeah.
think Raging
No.
gives you a bonus to hit
No?
additionally.
No.
No, it doesn't?
No, it doesn't.
Okay.
No.
Oh, okay.
Don't think so.
Not unless you reckless attack, in which case that gives you advantage and gives everyone else advantage against you.
Okay. Yeah, there is a
Yeah, well,
rage thing. It's a bonus action.
Yes,
Yeah,
but it doesn't give
but-
you additional.
I misremembered
Right.
what it does.
Yeah.
And for the great
Yeah,
axe
yeah.
of intimidation, that does, if we look at the damage for it,
Mhm.
1d12 plus the magical stuff.
Okay.
So you are taking a risk of not hitting as often as you would with the mace in order to hit potentially a lot harder with the great axe. That is the trade-off.
Okay.
A has suggested Chadrick getting the mace because if we have this mace and it's going to somebody, it's going to be a greater gain for Chadrick. It will have a chance to hit more and do more damage versus having a chance to hit more and do less damage.
Yeah, I guess this makes sense.
Hobby is, however, going to hand Cavill 1,000 gold in case we get another mace so that Met can have options.
I'm still waiting for the bear mace.
Yeah. Yeah, Mac will accept a mace. Sure.
So,
Well, currently the mace is... if you want
Chadrick
the
has
mace,
put it in his pocket.
Yeah, it's currently on
okay.
Chadrick right now. I will drag it over to Mech if you two want to swap.
can we get 2 maces?
Yes, no one has answered me as to whether there is a second mace.
I don't know. Yeah.
That's
Would
for
you
the
like a
GM.
They can-
mace?
Yes,
They
it
can
is for the
scrounge up-
GM.
Kevin now has a
With-
mace.
Here's the thing. With Cavill wondering if there is a second mace of smiting, someone comes in with a box of weapons and says, so the boss said you had these to stock? I wasn't expecting a shipment until next week. Yeah, this came in extra. So yeah, I was told that you should put these on the shelves right now. And then the person walks out the door. Well, that was an early supply run. Yeah, what's in the box? Oh, another mace of smiting. I just sold one of these.
Yeah, okay.
Oh, your boss is excellent.
Smash cut to Mo sipping coffee in a cafe somewhere going, what? I assure you had nothing to do with it.
Okay.
Hobby rolls to disbelieve.
Well,
That's funny.
Mo does care.
joke's on you. Mo has a very high deception skill.
Mm.
Bard.
And the ability to teleport.
Yes.
And the ability to contact people over long distances.
Yes.
Right.
I mean, he
right.
did fund the flagstone technology.
Mm-hmm. So does this mean that Mech is going
There-
to have this?
If the money
Yes.
is there
Item.
to purchase
Okay.
one, then Mech can have one too.
Okay, cool.
Hobby, did you hand me money or?
Yes, I handed you
Okay.
1,000 gold because that was what I could do the math on easily.
Okay.
You do not need to hand me that, but
Siblings!
Oh, there
Okay.
it is. Mace of Smiting. I see it now.
Not just siblings,
Cool.
but one of you is a rogue. It's possible that the money just gets put in a pocket when you're not looking.
Yes.
All right.
there, we have sorted out the logistics of maces.
Yes.
I beg your pardon. The logistics trio is not even in this campaign. Wait, how many deserts are there on this world? One. And it's isolated by a bunch of mountains. Ooh, can we stay here?
There's a Tarrasque, Grant. There's a Tarrasque. You don't have enough telekinesis to lift the Tarrasque into orbit yet.
Yet. I heard a yet. And Tuxa, did you hear a yet? I heard a yet.
Here yet. I can read minds. I'm part of this.
That's right. That's right. Chadrick can.
And Chadrick has inspiration.
Yes.
For most people, I've been assuming that you already have inspiration, and most of the time I check, I see that you do. Oh, Mech
I am
doesn't have it.
uninspired. It's sad. It's tragic.
But you
I heard but you, and then you cut out.
write books. Let's see. Where's my inspiration button?
All right, so you got mace,
There you are.
and then someone
Mhm.
said, but what about second mace? And you got second mace.
Yeah.
What about
So-
Mace Tokyo Drift?
If you
Where's
two,
Tokyo?
and why is it drifting?
The second
The mace
mace
is
is
going
Mace 2
sideways.
Electric Boogaloo.
No, it doesn't do lightning damage.
But it does damage constructs.
So technically, it might be thought of to damage lightning.
How does that even work?
I don't know. We'll have to hit some constructs and find out.
Magic.
A stands protectively in front of Tex. then
Huh?
realizes
Friend
what he's doing
constructs.
and what they're doing rather, and then continues to stand there because A is not quite sure if they're protecting Tex from a mace of smiting or protecting whoever's wielding the mace of smiting from Tex.
We would not hit Tex. We know better.
Thing is, I know Tex is strong enough to take it, and Tex knows that too. I just don't want it to happen anyway, because Tex might actually agree.
Well, that'd be a problem. No, Tex, you're not allowed to agree to that one.
I mean, I could heal her.
Or we could not use the mace on Tex and not have to worry about healing.
Yeah.
I like that
I think
option.
that's better.
I mean, that's the sensible option.
Despite appearances, we are capable of being sensible occasionally.
Nobody turns and looks at Chadrick.
I
But
know
Chadrick is
who I
capable
am.
of. Chadrick is also capable of reading surface thoughts, though.
Yes. I'm aware of where I stand in this group on
Which
this
is-
side of the wall.
So now it is time for me to check my notes.
Dun, dun, dun.
I'm wearing the hat.
That's cute.
I forgot
That's
that
cute.
was there. Can I? There we go.
There you go. Mhm.
Just had to move it a little bit. Can I move it? On my screen, it looks like the hat is underneath your character.
Yep.
Mhm.
Alas.
Boo.
Alas. That's all right. Hobby is on top of the Christmas tree, obviously, because that's what.
Moving the hat.
Who's doing that?
The
Crash.
hat's making a break for it.
Crash is moving the hat.
The pink elephant took it.
Oh no.
Oh, that's right. I could add it to the pink outfit. Or,
Yeah.
okay, hat boss battle.
Dun 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 dun.
One winged angel starts to play. Listeners at home, you're probably going to hear this episode when it goes live in April or May. We're recording this in December, so there's Christmas presents and a giant Santa hat on the map, and a mimic shaped like a Christmas present. And Sam Reich is also here. He's been here the whole time. Don't ask about it. But now that I have checked my notes. All right, so you were told, hey, come back tomorrow or sometime, and we'll have some information for you about that glowy stuff that we found.
Sounds like a good idea. I haven't been able to wash my fur all day.
Well, you stopped glowing after a few hours.
She doesn't trust it.
You are afraid that if you tried to groom, you would in fact have the glowing blep, the fabled glowing blep.
I mean, it's also possible I might have the glowing litter box, and that's just as bad.
Oh no.
Well, it's where you bury your treasure.
No.
All right. Well,
Why
it turns.
is
Hmm?
the mimic Sarlacc worming Chadrick?
Because Millie had Chadrick stay still for a second.
Oh, okay.
Okay, I see that. Yeah. Mhm.
I've accepted life.
It's an episode of Free Rin.
Burp.
That is an anime that I actually want to see because the whole premise of it is neat. The idea of, hey, these powerful adventurers did the thing. Now they've all gone their separate ways. What happens next is interesting to me. But in any case, well, it turns out that you don't need to go to the Ogmanite Enclave to get information because Bindle has come to Flag Headquarters.
This is
you
bad.
Well, she doesn't come over to you. One or more of you see her walk in the door and then head over to the Cogbucket Senior area, the barber shop and infirmary.
Hoppy says, oh no, she's looking for us, and it's so bad she doesn't want us going to Ogmanite headquarters. Hobby will be toddling around, trying not to touch herself with her own fur.
Let me see.
I'm imagining Hobby walking around the way I do in a classroom when I'm addressing the common problem I get from students storyboarding, where they draw the same style stick figure in every panel of their storyboards. Now, stick figures are common in storyboards. I actually recommend it because all you need to do is document where the character is in frame and how their body's positioned. You don't need to make it look exactly like the person. But when everyone in every frame is drawn as a stick figure that's just
Stick figure.
Yeah, the arms are straight out on either side. The legs are at shoulder width in every single panel. I walk around with my arms and legs in that position, but not moving my knees or hips.
Yeah.
Or shoulders.
Yeah, that's about like that.
Yeah. And
Although
the kids get a good laugh out of it.
Although possibly the arms are sort of pulled in a little bit in a, sort of midway between the arms straight out and the Frankenstein pose.
A has occasionally come over and given you a spritz of the water bottle that is technically not water, but in fact anti-nanites, just to make you feel a little better.
I had a question in the chat, Crash.
I have my notes open, so therefore I could not see the chat. Give me a second here.
One, would acetone remove the nanobites?
From what has been told to you, the only thing that seems to really remove a nanite infestation are, one, anti-nanites, and two, using a complex amount of magic-fueled devices and 6 or 7 dimensional physics to pull the nanites into what on paper looks like a rhombus if you drew the rhombus on the 5th and 6th dimension as opposed to 1st and 2nd.
Follow-up question. Are any of those things you just said made of alcohol?
Not a one.
Dang it. I thought it could be helpful again.
Well, it's possible that the anti-nanites are kept in a solution that's partially made with isopropyl alcohol. Don't drink that.
No.
I'm gonna fill up my magic chalice with whatever it was and then give it to be used to remove it from fur.
I heard a
I'll
story.
wait for the Agmanites.
I heard a story of, I think they were Soviet rocket scientists, but they were working on rockets that were fueled with alcohol, technically vodka, and the scientists kept drinking the rocket fuel because it was vodka-based.
Oh,
So
no.
to stop them from doing that, the alcohol was swapped out for isopropyl alcohol, because who would drink that? They had to stop doing that because then their scientists started going blind
Oh no.
because they drank it anyway.
This suggests that Russian vodka can be very, very bad
Well,
to taste. I.e., did they notice the difference?
after the second sip, probably not.
Mm-hmm.
Also, there's the question of, were they sipping it? But anyway, it's possibly an apocryphal story. But while you have been doing all these things, Bindle has not come out of the infirmary.
Well, I guess we should go in.
All right. So Cavill starts heading
Toddle.
towards the infirmary.
Mhm.
Toddle, toddle, toddle. Stick figure, stiff knee walk.
Jeez. Yeah. And Mac's gonna just follow along. Just in case.
A comes over with a hand cart and just keeps pace next to Hobby. Looks over at Hobby, looks down at the hand cart. Looks over at Hobby, looks down at the hand cart.
But then it might press my fur against my skin more.
It's like one of the carts you would get at Lowe's or Home Depot.
Mm-hmm, yeah, if you lean on it, then it will tip you against the back of it, and it might,
A shrugs and moves the cart over to the cart return.
toddle.
They get their copper piece back when they return it.
Oh,
Mhm.
good.
Well, that's a great way to make sure the adventurers put the carts back. You just have to have a copper deposit. You put it in the slot, the chain breaks free.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So Cavill walks in, followed by a toddling weeble wobble of a Hobby. Is anyone else going in? Or
I am, yeah.
okay.
X had not been particularly inclined to bother Bindle, who seemed to have an errand of her own. But if everybody else is going in, she is going to at least try and prevent a fight.
Chadrick is just kind of absent-mindedly following, still confused as to why he's being useful. but kind of just, doing the normal thing of following Tex around, knowing that if he does so, he'll be in the correct place.
All right. So as you enter, you see Bindle and Cogbucket Sr. are huddled is the wrong word. Cogbucket Sr. is somewhat huddled, bending down a little bit. Bindle is standing on the table because otherwise Bindle's head would not necessarily go over the top of the table. There might actually be some boxes over on the side that were hastily moved over so Bindle would have steps.
Oh, okay.
Yes. But between them is a box that has various bits and bobs and widgets and dials and stuff. The box is made of metal, the lid is open, and inside of it is something glowing yellow.
Oh, it's that briefcase from Pulp Fiction.
It is not a briefcase from Pulp Fiction.
I don't feel like speaking, so I'm going to read minds to figure out what they're looking at.
They are looking at a small vial that appears to be glass. Bindle knows it's not glass. You sort of gloss over what Bindle actually knows it is because it doesn't necessarily... there starts to be math involved. But inside of it are nanites infused with radiant energy.
That's not good. I think I might actually say that out loud.
Oh, good. You are my next stop.
Do we need to chase down the contractors?
The what now?
We split.
Oh, I didn't
Temporarily.
really look at the roster for that. I just knew that your cohort was involved in, the acquisition of these things. They're fascinating, really. It's a shame that they're made by somebody who really doesn't care if the whole world turns into a gray goo or not, or glowing blue goo, or in this case, glowing yellow goo, which I suppose is a difference.
Am I going to turn into goo?
No, we already cleared you, remember?
Yes, but now you're back. It's my fur contaminated.
No, I wanted to let you know that we're making progress on, the whole finds you-know-who thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because here's the thing. I have to keep these nanites in this box.
Or
I can't move them around because they move themselves around. They're there, then they're not there. Then they're there, then they're not there. And when they come back, they're right where they were when they left. Which means if I put them in a bucket and I move the bucket over, when they come back, they're not in the bucket anymore.
But the box is... No.
Think of it as the opposite of an extra-dimensional space.
It's like the shackles.
Oh, you know about those. Yeah, I based some of my research on those.
Got it.
So the
But,
nanites are teleporting.
In a manner of speaking, yes. Plane shifting might be a better term.
Where do they go?
We
Probably to
don't
call home.
know yet. But yes, Cavil is thinking along the same lines that I was thinking. The nanites already wanted to move. That wasn't different. Speaking with our friend over in the Enclave, which we've all met to some degree or another, there is the inclination to return to the equivalent of the new singing monolith. But that's not on this plane of reality.
So they plane shift.
And if we can track that, there's a pretty good chance we'll know how to get to you-know-who's phylactery.
I don't suppose we could poison these nanites so when they go home, they take poison with them.
Not in a significant amount that would do anything. You're
Like, what is this, an
talking
ant colony?
orders of magnitude of nanites. Any anti-nanites that I've been able to make so far would be overwhelmed.
Oh well.
Especially with a will on the other side actively trying to prevent such a spread. You would most likely have to take you-know-who and do something equivalent to what I did, basically immobilize them in some way. I don't think you'd have access to the rhombus technology.
No rhombus in a box. Got it.
Yeah. Well, it's the size of a small building, so don't think you'll be carrying that with you. Well, I wanted to let you know that we're making progress, and I came here in part to ask for Cogbucket Senior's assistance because, well, you know, powerful cleric, really into science stuff. Celestial energy infused science.
That sounds useful.
I thought so. Yes, it does seem interesting. Bindle nods at this and then looks at all of you as if she was very clearly expecting one of you to ask a question that you
How
are
long
not.
do these nanites last?
Oh, in stasis indefinitely. Not in stasis. Also, it seems to be, well, we don't know for sure because they sorta don't all come back when they go away. But based on the other nanites, we assume also indefinitely, just not here. That's probably why you were all clear by the time we finished, going through the detox procedures, because that took a few hours, and after that, they probably all gone home.
So if you don't hang on to them, they
slip away like water.
So it's safe for me to lick my shoulder.
Bindle stares at you.
Stare back urgently. We have priorities here.
I suppose if that's something you somehow feel compelled to do, the
Shoulder
dangers
licking
would not
will happen.
The dangers would not be from nanite exposure.
Lick shoulder frantically. It's been like a whole day.
It's been 47 hours, 53 minutes.
It's been too long. The shoulder needs washing. Okay. Other people can now say relevant things.
So does this stuff work at all anymore then? Well, it's probably not as effective as it used to be, but we'll get you a new formula soon.
Yay!
Honestly, unless we can figure out how to destroy these things, I really think we should let them go for in case she can follow them back to here.
She already knows where here is.
Yeah, but I don't really want there to be like a trace.
She already knows where we are. She's been here.
I know, but I don't want her near me.
I don't think we can control that.
Yeah, but I can hope.
There are two places in particular that she cannot go. One of them is the Enclave, because she'd be rhombused. The other is here, because Mo funded the building of a second device to rhombus her.
Oh, good.
He called
Your
it
boss is the best.
We can't control that, but the boss can.
He called it a spiteful investment.
Interesting.
Pavel,
he smiled when
your
he said
boss
it.
is excellent. Yeah.
I didn't like that smile. It was not a good smile.
No, I think it's a good smile.
The thing is, I've heard him talk about spiteful investments before, and that smile made me rethink every time he said it. Since the bag of holding incident, Mo has started to care about what happens to Cavil. Woe betide those who get in Cavil's way. Because if Mo has to admit this publicly, woe betide anyone who gets in the way of somebody who had a hand in, one, helping a god to ascend, and two, removing a god from existence. These things were related.
But woe betide.
Yes. Well, I'll leave this sample here with you. Bindle closes the lid of the box. I've got plenty more back at the Enclave, so I'm going to get back to my own research.
Good luck.
Oh, I don't need
Like
luck.
to leave the place of
I
learning.
have empirical data. And with that, Bindle fails a dexterity check and tumbles down the pile of boxes because they were stacked the way my mother stacks boxes, which is to say that some of the load-bearing boxes were much smaller than the boxes that were placed on top of them. I'm fine.
Can Hobby catch? Can Hobby catch before
with a 27 and a 16
it first. No, that's a perception skill of mine. Mine's a perception. It was for something else.
Okay. So
Tex
with the 16, Tex is able to keep Bindle from damaging anything other than her pride.
Tex was taller and obviously got there before Hobby could because taller.
Well, thank you. Can you put me down now?
Of course.
All right. And Bindle brushes off clothing that did not need to be brushed off and awkwardly leaves.
Hobby whispers as she goes, "It really does help if you lick your shoulder after that."
I'll keep that in mind. But I know where that shoulder's been, so I think I'd wash it first.
Oh, well, okay.
You don't lick the science. Unless you want to discover a new artificial sweetener, and I do not want a nanite-based artificial sweetener.
No, I don't think anyone wants that.
That is canon for real life, and it amuses me that the policy of do not lick the science, on more than one occasion, licking the science had people discover artificial sweeteners.
Figures.
In one case, somebody realized that when they realized, hey, you know what, things are sweeter right now, and it's probably because of something that I did in the lab, went to their lab and licked everything.
Oh, no. Oh.
And you might think, oh, wait, but artificial sweeteners, that's great. Yeah, you know what else is an artificial sweetener? Lead.
Lead.
Yes, the Romans used it as an artificial sweetener. They knew what it does.
And they still...
It's only toxic in large doses, right?
No.
Precisely the problem.
They used it in their plumbing. They used it in their food. Anyway.
They used it to seal their wine bottles.
I mean, you can't argue with results. And that's where there's a record screech and Bindle pops into the frame. Yes, you can argue with results because you didn't document properly. Anyway, I'll go now. It's fine. I got my own research to do. And I do like Ellie's insertion of information where the nanites would reconfigure your tongue to temporarily taste specifically sweet things.
Oh, that's why I don't like them, because I'm allergic to aspartame. Okay, this makes sense.
So this leaves us with the next part of an intermission episode, which is the party deciding what quest they wish to go on next. I've already gone over the choices, but
I still vote for potential quest.
Potential quest is the header. It is not actually a quest.
It is one of the lines on the menu. I am choosing that line.
You grab the card that says potential quests. On the back of it, it has one of the 4 items. Retrieve an item for Mo. End whatever Augmenite experiment went horribly wrong this time.
Oh, there it is.
Assist the Red Death of Plantain. And defeat the Baroness of Kavrim. It amuses me that retrieve an item for Mo is a repeatable thing because Mo always has more things that he's happy to have someone get for him in exchange for an exorbitant amount of money. And whatever Augmenite experiment went horribly wrong this time is repeatable because the Augmenites keep delving too deep, science-wise. So Flag just has an open tab, so to speak. Like a bar tab, not a browser tab. Although, these are the Augmenites, so possibly both.
Could be both.
Yes. Why not both? And if someone picks that quest, just go over there and say, okay, so do you have any problems right now? And the answer is always yes. It is always yes.
Yes.
I feel like we should see what's going on with the Red Death of Plantain, because I've definitely seen quests relating to the Red Death of Plantain before.
But the name sounds very ominous. So what if we didn't?
What if the Red Death has to do with plants instead? We don't know.
Their name is Death.
Wait a
But have they
minute! That's
destroyed
a
any
reference to
worlds?
something I said!
Oh. I didn't remember. Sorry.
Once again, we talked about earlier.
No, it's not. It's not. It's just that this quest has been up there before, and I was commenting on it while we were playing.
Got it.
Yes,
Meanwhile, the Baroness of Kavri, once again, as we talked about earlier, it just says defeat.
And for the record, the Assist the Red Death of Plantain quest was one of the ones that you could have picked when you instead chose to mitosis the party and pick all of the other quests.
That's the only
No,
one
it's
left.
also a quest that was up in February 2022.
And then it was taken down, and then a new one was put up that had the same wording.
Yeah.
But it
Mhm.
was a different assistance. Apparently, the Red Death kept Flag's card and occasionally calls for extermination purposes or, fix the plumbing, take care of the drywall. Your contractors.
Mm.
And for the record,
So yeah, between the two, Chadrick would prefer the Baroness one, but will accept the Plantain one.
A is just sitting there at the table looking back and forth at everyone.
Hoppy
I
would
vote
vote-
for Plantain on the strength of Assist the Red Death being fascinating.
Chadrick will
Also-
sigh very loudly and accept that we are going to Plantain.
Hey, look, you're saying that you don't want to
Is it a
fight the
beach?
Red Death. We're not going to fight the Red Death.
Yeah, but then we're gonna see someone whose name is Death, which sounds a little ominous.
It's probably for marketing.
Yeah.
A market.
Also, it's tropical, I hear.
Oh, okay. So you should have started with that. Let me get my Hawaiian shirts.
Mm-hmm. Hoppy will configure her armor to look like a Hawaiian shirt.
Oh, I'll just put my Hawaiian shirt over my chainmail.
So long as it's not spring break.
Everywhere I go is spring break.
Well, we need to break spring. Never mind.
I mean, if it's spring break, it's going to be full of late teen, early 20-somethings who are making very bad decisions. But if it's the middle of winter, it's going to be full of a lot of older people who are also making very bad decisions.
We'll be okay. We'll figure something out.
And the GM has not mentioned the time of year in quite some time, so even he is not sure what time of year it is.
He's going to have to roll dice.
I'm just going to go
D12.
outside and check. A comes back and says,
You roll.
it is indeterminate.
Well, it's very simple. Just roll a d12.
That
It
assumes
exists.
that we have 12 months. The GM has also not mentioned months by name,
No, but if you
For all we know,
roll
the months are base 10.
it's not about the months. It's about which part of the weather year that the months fall in.
Anyway, it won't matter when we go to Plantain. It's always dreadfully hot. They've got 3 seasons. They've got Too Hot. They've got Hurricane. And they have Love Bug.
Yeah, that's right. You forgot rainy.
That's
That's
hurricane.
more a time of day.
No, it's different.
Mm.
There's half the year where it's rainy. It rains for 1 hour every day at the exact same time. And then that goes into hurricane season. Then it goes into 2 weeks of cold. And then it goes back and then it goes into love bug.
Also, for the record, I like Ellie's joke that Chadwick comes back with the Hawaiian shirt over a tracksuit.
Correct.
A is also wearing a
Which is-
Hawaiian shirt and sunglasses.
I got him a matching one.
Of course you did.
I want to be clear that Millie and I had the same idea at the same time.
Yes. So yeah, I come back with a obnoxious Hawaiian shirt, by the way, and I bought a matching one for A at the same time. It was in either the dress like your dog or dress like your kid section, whichever one fits A better.
It would be the kids section.
Okay, and then
There are
I
some
got
people
us.
who think A is a weird dog. They get stabbed repeatedly.
Well, the thing is, it could be Great Dane sized.
A does not have the proportions of a Great Dane.
So
He is not weird. They are not a weird dog.
No, that's fair.
I've got a big head and little arms. A Great Dane has a big head and long arms. We are not the same.
But yeah, but
It
regardless,
came
we
with
have
these Jimmy
matching
Buffett
shirts.
Crocs. Look, they have a loot pick attached.
Oh no.
Yes,
I am
I got
not
little
putting Crocs on
margarita
A.
glasses, giblets for the Crocs.
A will not wear Crocs.
I promise they're not made of crocodile skin.
It's not that. I like going barefoot.
Fair. But if you ever want slippers,
Well,
here we go.
cobalt foot.
Yes, they're not bare feet. We already
Talked about this.
I get better traction with my claws.
Uh-huh.
And for the record, while it is incredibly warm in Plantain, it is not so warm that the average person who visits there needs anything to combat the heat.
I'm wearing armor and I have fur.
We'll get you one of those spray bottles with the fans attached.
You want me to spray myself with water?
We've been
doesn't
spraying
have
you
to be
with
water.
nanites for the past 3 months.
Well, the protective nanites keep me cooler. Otherwise, I'm going to stress shed everywhere.
Stress shed. First
I
of all,
really
you
wish
have summer coats.
you knew prestidigitation so you could keep yourself cool with prestidigitation.
Yeah, first of all, you would get your summer coat, and second of all, you would have less fur.
Yes, but I like having my Blade Ward cantrip. It's kind of useful.
Because you can chill non-living objects, so you cast prestidigitation on your clothes to make them cool. And if you want to give them a nice pattern, you cast prestidigitation on your clothes to make them cool.
I have Ray of Frost.
Don't cast that on yourself.
No, I wasn't thinking of casting it myself. I was thinking of getting like a really sturdy rock or something. And then I could just carry this rock around and cool it off now and then.
There is a baby tiefling who thinks there's nothing wrong with this plan.
I remember that.
Canonically, the grandma happens to be a founding member of the flag leadership.
Mhm.
Because flag leadership are all parents of adventurers.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
Adoptive counts.
Yes.
So,
are we settled on going to Plantain?
Yes.
Let's go.
You sound like you're not happy about it, but you've already bought matching shirts for the trip.
I mean, the thing is that Chadrick always has a Hawaiian shirt on backup.
I will
But A
use
didn't.
my armor's magic to make it look like I am wearing a Hawaiian shirt.
Correct.
As does Hobby, and therefore
No, I don't think you
there's high
understand
five.
that Chadrick opens up their bag and they pull out Hawaiian shirts they got for everyone that matches each person's personality in their size. Chadrick is ready for a Hawaiian party.
If you already have a Hawaiian shirt, you can put this Hawaiian shirt over the other Hawaiian shirt, whether or not it was actually
Extra.
studded leather armor, and you can pop the collars for both.
Yes.
All right, Mech will accept a Hawaiian shirt.
And on this note, I think that's where we're going to end it for tonight. Thank you everyone for listening. Thank you everyone for playing. Tonight I was joined by a bunch of awesome people, including Beth, Ellie, Io, Millie, and Jen. Who would like to plug a thing?
Io's mom writes books. At
That's many
Elizabeth
things.
McCoy. Well, yes, but I'm plugging one URL. I'm plugging
At
ElizabethMcCoy.com. Yes. Yeah. And speaking of books, since I'm only plugging one thing.
Right. Yeah, my website is bookofjen.net. It's got a bunch of stuff on it as, whenever I decide that it's something fun to write about. And then I'm also the host of the Shattered Soulstone podcast, which is about the Diablo series of games. I haven't done any episodes in quite some time, but I'll get there.
But that is also two things. So speaking of
is two
websites,
Yes.
I run Elek, which is elekk.xyz. It is a part of the Mastodon/Federated world of websites. I am only talking about one of them, which is Alex, so I'm not breaking your rules, Crash. And it is like a Schrodinger's Federated website, as in it can interact with any of the other sites in the Mastodon Federation world. But then I can also destroy any bridges with the other websites that I think are not worth our time, such as the one full of alt-right crazies. So it's It's Schrodinger's Federation.
Alright. And also speaking of websites, I will only mention the one website, aaronbsmith.com/cogwheel, which is where we put all these podcasts. But also, I will
That's
mention
more than one
two websites, is aaronbsmith.com/@cogwheel, where you can go to follow us on the Fediverse. So 2 websites. Well, and there's also the Patreon, patreon.com/cogwheelgaming, where you can help us keep the lights on. So 3 webs. I'll just come in again.
Fair.
And I'll come back and tell you that you can join.
Fair. The game master listening to 3 websites.
I love that there were multiple riffs after I said that were mutually exclusive, and by trying to listen to all of them, I listened to none of them. However, if you support us on Patreon, you'll be joining other illustrious patrons, including Ellie, Shen, Walter, Liv Droman, and Patron Emeritus Cindy. And until next time, this is Crash saying, I'll have you know I barely helped at all, but I do like to keep an eye on my investment. Ooh, somebody's selling an old schoolhouse.
Don't
I
my
could do something
pizza.
with that. Yes, I would love some pizza. Thank you.
Eat my
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Night.